Hey guys, I'm pretty sure I'm live and I'm pretty sure you can hear me okay. Fingers crossed. If you're watching this after the live and you want to have a go, just get yourself any watercolour medium. I don't know where that's come from. It doesn't have to be your standard watercolour palette. It can be pencils, it can be pens, anything that's water activated really. So it's just really a bit of a fun tutorial to go through about creating some watercolour geodes. Just going to quickly do the old shares where needed. Hey Stace, how are you, my lovely? God, the light's really doing my head in. I'm going to see if I can turn it down. Made it blue now. Is that a bit better? It's a bit less strain on the eyes. It's good to be back. Just doing the shout out in the group. Okay, first of all I want to apologise in advance because it appears that, and I have heard this, the side effect of, or a, not side effect, a long-term effect, a after effect, I don't know how long it's going to last, of having COVID is interrupted sleep patterns. And basically every other day I'm not sleeping, so I'm basically awake for 24 hours. Hi Fiona. Hi Joanne, hi Tommy. So currently my eyes feel like someone's thrown sand in them. Hi Leslie. And I haven't been asleep yet since yesterday, so I couldn't sleep at all, and then I got up and looked at the phone. I thought it's 4 o'clock. What is the point of me even trying? And because the kids were going back to school today for a couple of days a week, I was getting really worried that things you like packed lunches and all that sort of stuff, because we're not organised. So yeah, I ended up not getting any sleep. So my eyes are like bleh today. And oh my god, I hate the walk to school. I really, really do. There's too many hills to deal with. We live in a really hilly town. Okay, so if you guys want to take part in today's tutorial, all you're going to need again is anything watercolor based. So it could be, oh, where are they? I'm going to get something quickly. My chair turned then like a Bond villain. I'm going to get them because I want to show you them as well. So the purpose of today is to sort of give you a bit of an idea of how you can get used to watercolour pencils, because they are quite an underrated watercolour tool. I don't know if any of you guys have got watercolour pencils, but if you want to have a go, obviously have any questions throughout this, speak up, don't be afraid to ask. I'm just getting the brushes together. It's been a bit of a tricky afternoon because Amelie coming home from school, obviously she's been very overwhelmed. She really enjoyed it, but it's still overwhelming for her, so we've spent a lot of the afternoon on the sofa together, chilling. Okay, I think that's probably all I need. I'm missing my favourite brush. Has anybody seen it? Can I find it? It's right in front of me. Oh, bless you. Welcome back. I struggled with watercolour pencils. Yeah, I mean, I have struggled. Amelie has an educational health plan in place now, because of her autism and DCD. I fought for an educational health plan because she needs to be in a specialised setting. So when she goes into secondary school, she's actually going to be in a school specific for her needs, so special autism school. So in this lockdown, only one person has to be a key worker for you to be able to access the school. So because obviously hubby is a key worker, it's also meant that Madison can go back to school. But rather than throw everyone in the deep end, including myself, because as I say, the school walk, it sounds stupid, but after having COVID and not leaving the house since the 29th of December, the school walk was an absolute killer. As I say, we've got a lot of hills where we have to walk. And I didn't want to overwhelm Amelie. So Amelie's going 2 days a week and Madison's going 3 days a week. And we're just going to see how it goes on from there. So I once got a small set from an art sub box and hated them, but maybe they were poor quality. Does brand matter? Brand does matter, and I actually have quite a huge array. In fact, I'm going to show you. I'm going to move my webcam and then I'm going to make it bigger so you can see. Okay, so everything I've going to use today, I'm going to do that so I can give you a bit of an idea. I'll show you anyway, but I want to show you all the different types that we're going to be just having a look at today, so you can get a bit of an idea. So these in the box here are Caran d'Ache water soluble wax crayons, and the pigment from these are really, really amazing. They're not cheap, but they're really, really lovely. We are going to be looking at, just to give you a bit of an idea of variety. So, oh god, it's weird having to turn this. So there's pencils in this one, which I'm going to go through with you. There's another brand of pencils in this one. I have got some more in the drawer. There's another brand of pencils in this one. And these are pens. But as I say, I want to give you a good variety of different options that are going to be available to you. So, oh god, I'm not going to put me on big camera. Let me move it down first before I put it back on my mug. We're there. So I have got, I'm going to pull out the box, it's just easier. So these are things that I've got from my subscription boxes over the time. And I've got so fed up with the amount of watercolour products that I keep getting that I am actually considering cancelling the boxes. I do have an up crate that I have to film, but I honestly have had no enthusiasm to do it. Okay, so they were from a subscription box. There you go, that's another brand we can have a look at, because they were from a sub box. They were from a sub box, and these were from a sub box. So these are all water activated products. There's acrylics and watercolours and things in here. In fact, they're going to stay out because they're acrylic, they're not watercolour. I've just ordered some wooden storage boxes for all my pencils. Nice. Funny enough, I've got a load of storage coming to tomorrow as well to sort all of my crap out because I've had enough of it now. Okay, so I'm going to go through the different brands I have, and if you are familiar with any of them, then let me know. So the brands that we're actually going to just have a bit of a play with today, and we're just going to make mini geodes, I think. Just have a bit of a play and just to show you roughly how they work. So these are crayons, and they are water activated. Let me put the camera on. I will be clearing my throat a lot today, so I apologise firstly for that. So we've got art crayons, which are very similar to what I'm going to show you to the Caran d'Ache, but these are really, really soft, where the Caran d'Ache are actually quite hard. These were interesting to use. Yeah, that's where I got them from, Scrawler Box. I wasn't 100% keen on the colours that you got given. You know, you can't have a primary colour with purple, for goodness sake, so you couldn't even make green. Anyway, I'm going to show you those. These are Albrecht Dürer watercolour, and these are markers. I am missing one, so it's probably been hidden, and my desk isn't straight, so everything's going to roll off to one side, just to be really annoying. Where's a big chunk of blue tack? Here we go. So the Albrecht Dürer watercolour markers. We then have the Albrecht Dürer pencils, and again, these were just the 3 that I got in the subscription box. So I'm going to show you these as well. What I'll do is I'll swatch a lot of these, and then we can get on with doing some geodes. I won't necessarily use every brand, but we'll at least swatch them so you can... Oh my god, come on camera. So you can get an idea of the quality and the colour and things like that. Why is everything moving? Everything's gone weird all of a sudden. Okay. Now these are, and I know most of my followers in the group have these already. These are Inktense Blocks. If you're not familiar with them, they're a very hard, they feel actually quite chalky, but you can work them straight on the paper, which I hate doing because of the sound, or you can wet your brush and just pick some of the colour up off of these and then work straight onto your paper. I have the pencil version of these as well as these blocks, but I just wanted to show you, if you aren't familiar with them, that you can get them in both ways. And these, I didn't actually mind the colour choice on this. This one was a bit weird. It had an odd way of going on the paper. It was really strange. These were fine. It was just this particular colour, so I don't know if it had a pigment in it. Okay, so they were from what I've had through Scrawler Box and things like that. So this is the Caran d'Ache. Some of you will be familiar, some of you won't. Neo colour. And I absolutely adore these. I don't use them enough, and I should. But I use my tin lid as my palette because you can just scribble it on there and then lift the colour off. But look at the colour selection that you get in here. I mean, that is pretty tasty, is it not? You can tell I haven't used them much. I think these 2 colours seem to be my most used. And again, they're like a crayon, but they're actually a much harder crayon. Let's see if that'll focus. So it's not as soft as the ones in the pen that you saw. So I'm going to show you the difference between those in a minute. Excuse the black on my fingers. I have no idea where it's come from. Got a big blob on my thumb. So they are wax based, and they're just blooming lush. I mean, look at these colours. Just yum. So I think we're going to have a go at doing some geodes with these. They are essentially crayons. So I'm gonna swatch these as well so you can see how they work. I'm going to swatch each item so you can see how they work. So this is one of the other ones. You have Neo Colour and then Neo Colour 2, and the 2 is water soluble. And what it means is that you can actually draw direct onto things like glass, stones. I've seen people do it on pots and things like that. So you don't have to water them down. And I think nearly everything I showed you apart from this, because this is what I want to discuss with you. Inktense, once dry, you cannot reactivate. You can't reactivate the colour, so it won't shift. So it's like a permanent watercolour. Whereas, as we know, watercolour normally, you can actually shift the colour again afterwards. So I'll show you that as well. But the Inktense, be aware that once dry, you cannot shift the colours again. Okay, so I'm going to, of course, show you the standard watercolour palette. If yours doesn't look like mine, then you're not having enough fun, because mine's a bloody mess. Absolute mess. But if yours doesn't look like this, then you're not having enough fun. But I really need to get some replacement colours because Amelie's been having a flipping field day. And in fact, I think some of them are actually in here. So I can replace some of the colours back into here. So I'm going to look at doing that. I think even possibly, no, permanent rose is in there, emerald is in there, so emerald's that one, so that can be refilled. In fact, I'm going to show you, when you refill watercolour, you can do it from the tube and you can literally put it straight back in here, and then you just let it dry, and then you're essentially making a new block. You just replace the colours. It looks like I've got every single one of these in here already, apart from turquoise. So that needs a home. So I'm going to leave that one out. I'm not going to show you these because they were weird. Really weird. Okay, so yeah, we're going to go through a palette as well, just to... So I thought if I do a geode with each type of tool, then you can get familiar with how easy they are and how they blend and things like that. I just thought it'd be the easiest thing to do. And then that way, if you're looking for watercolour things in the future. I have also got, again, it came in a subscription box, a Derwent Graphy Tint. So if you're not used to Graphy Tints, I want to show you what they're about. They are unusual to work with, and what you see here is not what comes. This doesn't come out. You have to erase over the top. Yeah, just normal. Because this is Cotman, I've just used the Cotman this. So if you were to leave this out on a bit of plastic, it would just dry. But because it can be reactivated, yeah, you can literally use that, squeeze it in to refill your pan, and then let it dry. No, not special at all, just do standard. I know there's a bit of a delay between questions and answers, so apologies if I repeat myself. Okay, so this isn't all of them. This is just over half of them. And these are my Spectrum Noir watercolour pencils. And they're just your standard... Oh, it's a cat. I wonder what that was. It's just your standard watercolour pencil, wax-based pencil, but obviously being water soluble. So we're going to have a play about with those, so you can see those. We then have, a lot of you have seen these before, but we've got the sparkle pens and we've got the Aqua Tints. So I'm going to show you how we can do some geodes in that. Because if it's something you're going to enjoy doing, these sorts of tools are worth investing in. Now, I know that a lot of you in my group might not have actually seen these. But these are a new product. and they're glitter pens, but they're proper glitter pens. So they're like, you can either use them as a standard glitter pen, and they are really glittery, but they are also water activated as well if you wanted them to be. So we will possibly have a look at those. We then have, as I mentioned, the Inktense Pencils. Hey, yeah, we're having a bit of a fill today, aren't we? Let's turn that around. Why has it suddenly gone really dark? Yeah, Derwent Inktense in pencil form. So basically those, but in the pencil form. So they don't really act any differently, but at least you get to see the two different forms that you can buy them in. Because it depends on whether you prefer to use it as a pencil or whether you prefer to use it as a paint palette. Yeah, it's a really, really good way to refill and use them up. So yeah, it's really good. Okay, so the next lot will be the last three. I've only got these out because then there's something I've used loads of times and you've seen them in tutorials. And these are the Aqua Tints, and I thought I would use these to do specific types of backgrounds on some of the geodes that we do. So they're just the Aqua Tints. So that's probably a whole different tutorial video. These are Derwent, and I actually got these in the sale in WH Smith, so I don't have many colours at all. But I thought I'd pull them out of the bag to at least show you, because Derwent tends to be one of the most common go-to brand of art supplies. So I thought at least if I add this into the list tonight, somebody's going to have them. But I got them when they were in the clearance in WH Smith. So, but again, they're just your standard wax base watercolour pencil. And by the way, if you didn't know, you can actually get water soluble graphite. It's not just colour that you can get. You can actually get water soluble graphite. And of course, the trusty old Aqua markers, brand new sets, fresh off the press. So these are brand new. The colours aren't new, the actual pens are brand new. So we're going to be having a play with them as well. So has anybody got a preference of what you'd like me to start with, or a product that you have that you've seen that I have now that we can have a bit of a play with? I'll give you a couple of minutes just to shout over. I'm just using some Spectrum Noir watercolour card, just because I've got loads of the stuff at the moment. So is that in focus? Yeah. Pans are so expensive to replace, so I don't know whether the tubes are generally a bit cheaper, because as I say, I you know, these come in the box, but I do know that you can refill straight from the tube, so they just dry as normal. So right, if I just grab for swatching purposes any old, well, I'll give you a couple more minutes to let me know if there's any one specific that you want me to have a look at. Or we'll just start from the beginning, basically, which was the art crayons. Should we do that? Should we just go through in order that I've done them? We'll do that. So these are... Let's have a... Hi! Okay, so these are Marabou Art Crayon. So the thing... Oh, and the crayon. That's a C. Right, that's pomegranate. Pomegranate, yeah. the thing with art crayons is that you can use them on surfaces that are not water soluble, and that is the upside to them. So if you wanted to do something on tiles or glass or pottery, things like that, then you can use them on things like that. What's the best budget? Pens or pencils? Actually, to begin with, the best budget ones are things like WH Smith's. If you're in the UK, WH Smith's watercolour pencils are really good. The Derwent ones aren't that expensive. So it goes on. I'm going to zoom you in actually. It goes on really creamy. I mean, like, it's like if I was to scribble on paper with lipstick. That's the best way to describe it. So it's really, really creamy. I mean, even... Oh. As it sort of wears off, you can see that that's how soft it is. Oh, I'm like that. I just get tons of art supplies and I just don't want to use them because I don't want to waste them. Then we got, oh, bugger, Sunshine Yellow. I mean, they are some really vivid colours, aren't they? Really, really vivid colours. And they're really smooth to go on. So you could have a lot of fun with them if you're doing big canvas, things like that. I think, you know, there is a lot of potential for them. They're just not my cup of tea. I think I would have to work on something large format if I was going to be using them. So if we'll go over you'll see actually that they blend out really, really nicely. There's no staining or blocking on the paper. So they blend out really nice. Let's see how far we can go out. Go out quite far with them, look. But I have found, because what annoyed me when they come with the scrawler box was that they gave you smooth paper, and I couldn't understand that because they just didn't work the same. The thing with actually that I need to let you know of, when you're using products like these wax-based products, including pencils, you will find that they dry out very quickly. So you'll need to resaturate your brush more often. Hi, Georgina. Pens, budget pens. Okay. What, like alcohol markers? Probably... Well, it depends what your budget is, but the Spectrum Noir alcohol markers, I personally think are really, really good value for money. If not, you've got the old Arteza brand. If you want to get going, just to have a bit of a play. Or Ohuhu. Ohuhu. I don't know how easy or readily available they are in the UK, but Ohuhu, yeah. So they are your Marabou Art Crayons, which personally I am not a massive fan of. So the Albrecht Dura, I'm just going to say Faber-Castell markers, just for the sake of my sanity, and I'm just going to put yellow and blue. So you've got a fibre tip, or bullet tip as we call them, on one end, and then you have a brush tip on the other end. So just because it's open, I mean, you can see the saturation difference. I mean, the marker and the wax are really, really similar. And they're nice chunky pens actually. So washout, I mean, it's just, they are really good. If you look here, you've got this stop here where you can only push the colour so far, but on the markers there's like hardly any stop at all. The blue might be a different scenario, but oh no, we're pretty good on that too. You can see how much colour you can get out of just that little patch, how far I've gone. And then of course you can just blend the two together to get a nice green. That's why I love watercolour, because it's just really, really versatile. So the Albrecht Dürer, which are Faber-Castell, we've got brown, green and red. I don't want to spend too long doing this, so I might start speeding up a little bit. Now, the nature of the beast with pencils, and this might be why some people get put off, you cannot always get rid of the pencil lines. It is just the nature of the beast when it comes to pencils. It's sort of just how they are, how they work. And I know, including myself, it can be quite frustrating because I hate seeing the pencil lines. So the brown, I'm going to zoom you out a bit more so you can just see how far they're brushing out. So you can see the difference between a wax-based medium here, where it keeps stopping, compared to a pigment. I don't actually know if they're dye-based or pigment-based. Pigment. So pigment base means that they are more archival than a dye base. A dye base gives you a stronger colour, but they are not as archival. So bear that in mind if going forward you are looking at really extending your knowledge of watercolour pens, pencils, and you know, you want to take your art work further or do commissions. You need to be aware of those differences. I always charge less when I work with dye-based products because they won't last as long as a pigment-based. So there you have it. There's those. I don't know why, I'm always drawn to the markers. I don't know what you think of these, but I mean, you get more texture through the wax base, and you know, that's ideally what you want with watercolour, isn't it? The texture coming through. Right, I am going to show you next the Caran d'Ache, and they are Neo, oh, I can't write today, Neo Colour 2. Then I'm going to show you the Graphy Tint, because they're all together. And then I'm going to show you the Winsor, you can tell I can be bothered to write, can't you? Cotman palette. I just want to also go through, by the way, that the most expensive product I have here as a kit is a mix of the Neo Colour 2 and the Cotman palette. So these two, because they don't actually cost that much difference between them. This is bloody expensive for a £42 because they're really, really good quality. Right, so the Caran d'Ache, I'm just going to grab two colours. That might be a bit light on camera, but we'll give it a go. There you go, 3 colours. Just do 3 colours of each. And again, they are much harder. Don't know if you can hear that. So remember what the tip of that looked like. No, yellow's not the right colour to show you. So you can see how that's almost gone like if you were to write on a mirror with lipstick. So that gives you an idea of how soft they are. Whereas if I go on with the Neo colour, it's much more like a hard wax crayon. So if you imagine if you're doing this on glass, in fact I have, let's just do it on that. So So you can see how much of a solid colour you can get down. If you wanted to do something on glass, obviously you would have to seal it and you'd have to be blooming careful, because if it gets wet it's just going to run everywhere. But you can see how smooth they go on plastic. They go on really smooth. And you can see they've got a bit of fallout as well. You can't actually, you're not that close. So we're going to pull out that first colour. Oh man, look at that. Best colour in the world, that. Isn't that nice? And you can see how much pigment you get off of these. And then with the green. But again, because they're wax based, they will dry your brush out much quicker. So, you know, ideally you want to maybe invest in some proper watercolour brushes, because they generally hold the water much better. Just, I love them. I absolutely adore these. They are one of my favourites. So we are going to do, I think we're going to do some geodes in that. So I'm going to put that down there as I'm running out of room on my desk. Right, okay, so the Graphy Tint was next, wasn't it? So the Graphy Tint we can work straight from the pan. And you can see that actually they look pretty dull colours. It's cold water. So look at the colours on here. This is what they should look like, and that's what they look like in the pan. So I need to give this a bit of time to show you exactly what I mean. So when you, let's just do the first, let's do Autumn Brown, which is this one up here. That's Autumn Brown. I'm pretty sure that's gone on better than last time. So this is Slate Green coming up next. Do you know what? I think they've worked better than they did last time. They were a lot grayer than this last time. Right, I need to, I got one of the kids yelling, so bear with me. I'm going to just need to nip up and see them quickly. And then I'm going to use the Juniper, just to give you an idea of the colour. But you can see how muted the colours are compared to the top half, the vibrancy in them. I don't know, where's my normal bit of paper? I don't know where my normal bit of paper is. BRB. Right, I'm just going to be a few minutes. I've just got to nip upstairs because I can hear them. 2 seconds. Sorry, guys. The joys of live feeds. back again. She whacked her elbow getting up into bed, so it's a mixture of cry laughing and laugh crying. Yeah. Oh, I might have given it time to dry actually. I mean, the point with Aqua Tints is basically they're graphite based. I don't know how well it's going to work on these. There you go. Because they are graphite based, you can erase them. Which means you can do even more with them. See, if I go over this, it will to a point, but not as clear. I wonder if it'll do it over these. I've never actually tried doing it before. Yeah, see, it's not working at all on the Faber-Castell pencils. Wooden on the marker. Tiny bit on the Marabou crayon. Yeah, bed and breakfast. But you can see how much colour it takes away. So there's quite a lot of scope when it comes to using Aqua Tints. And I have to say, I was pretty unsure when I first got them, but value for money for starters, I was pretty pleased with that, because you're getting an entire palette, so you can't moan at that. Okay, so Winsor & Newton palette. You'll see an instant difference between, you know, your standard watercolours. Let's zoom out for starters. I don't know why I'm trying to make this more complicated than it should be. So I'm just going to grab any old colour. Let's grab that green as it's still fresh. You know, we all have a pretty good idea of how watercolours work. Thank you, Fiona. So if I just grab, I don't actually know what colour this is. I need to pull the pan out and have a look. It's got no name on it. So you do get the vibrancy, and of course with a pan you get the ability to have as little or as much colour on there as you want, because you can just really water it down, you know, make sure your brush is wet and then barely dip your pencil onto the pan, and then you just wash that colour out. But you can see like the difference in the textures on these compared to things like the crayons and the pencils. There's quite a big difference, and my favourite colour, which I'm running out of and I desperately need to get some more, and that's Cobalt. I mean, that's just the most amazing colour in the world. And this is why I love Spectrum Noir pens, because this is the sort of effect you get with the pens. In fact, I think those three colours are the colours that we're going to do the geodes with. So that gives you an idea of the Cotman watercolour palette. I've managed to spread that colour a lot further as well, haven't I? Compared to what we've done previously. Right, let's put you there. Okay, so next one then. We're going to go through the pencils. So let's do the Inktense. And I'm going to show you straight off the block. Let's just try and not waste any more. Inktense block. So the block is no different to the pencil. I mean, I don't know whether you'll be able to hear this. They sound really solid. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they're made up exactly the same way. So I think this is a similar green. I don't know if it's exactly the same, but we can do a... So you can literally just go on with a wet brush. Pick it up. It does go quite powdery. but then you can go straight on to the paper. But you can also, which I hate because they feel disgusting, you can go straight, you go straight on the paper. God, that's vile. Absolutely vile. Yeah, they are the same colour. That was a good guess. So you can go on straight onto the paper and then you can just wash it out. Like so. There's two ways that you can work with it. Or again, you can just leave it as standard pencil pigment. You don't have to actually at any point need to wash these colours out. You can use them as standard watercolour pencils. Or as standard pencils even. So again, straight from the pencil. You get a lot more texture with the pencil because you're pushing it further into the tooth of the paper. But again, you can see the vibrancy of the colours of the Inktense. They are really, really vibrant. In fact, if I can find... This is a Derwent. Let's compare. I don't think they actually have a name. They're just Derwent Watercolor. These are a lot softer, a lot more crumblier. I don't know if you can see how much fallout I've got from that. If I do that, can you see all of that? That's quite a lot of fallout, which you didn't get that with the Inktense. So, I mean, so far on all of them, the colour intensity has actually been pretty good. So, let's do a Spectrum Noir underneath that. I can find an equivalent. The Spectrum Noir feel more lead-wise like the Inktense. I think they still do. I mean, I've been really, really rough with how I've done everything today, but it it just gives you an idea of how easy they are to wash out with water. So when we come on to do the little geodes, it'll be easy for us to see. So let me grab the aqua markers. And the reason I want to show you because Leslie's actually recently got these, but the reason I want to show you the Aqua Tints is because you need to see the vibrancy of the pigments, because they are just in your face vibrant. I'm going to show you. So the markers, definitely a theme going on with the colours happening here, isn't there? Now, because these are dye based, you'll see a difference in how they lie down. You can probably see it between these two. Can you see this line you've got going on here? Is because it is dye based, it soaks much quicker into the paper. That isn't a bad thing, because all you've got to do is just keep gently working over it and leaving a bit of water on top, and eventually the paper does the work for you and it draws the colour through. But these are my absolute favourite tools for doing any watercolour, is the pens. Love them. In fact, this is one of my favourite colours. This is why I put this colour in the kit. It's just yum. How nice is that? Okay, right, black. Just to give you an idea, I'm going to put this down to protect. When I went, some people had painted the big part of the Matlock Bath High Street to be like the Grand Canyon. Wow, that's really cool. I'm literally going to put that. Can you see how tiny that dip is? Okay, so this is the black. So that's the black for the ink Aqua Tint. So I'm going to show you. I picked up the sparkle one, but it's not a problem. I'm going to put that. That's it. That's all I'm going to put. And I'm going to put one drop of the green. So you can see how far we can go. Probably should have done black last, really, but. So going straight in with the green. Isn't that nice? I'm going to do that so you can see it better. But I don't know whether you'll see it at the minute because it's too shiny. But these have glitter in them. Not all of them do. They have a version with glitter and a version without. But just look at that pigment. Again, they're dye based, but look at the pigment. I mean, just mind blowing. These are what I've just used. They don't come like this. They come in little pots. They come in little round pots, but I like to move them into these because I'm a messy artist. And I find I prefer, because you need such a little amount, I tend to put them in these. So these are Aqua Tint pots. Okay. Oh, I wonder how that would work. Wouldn't they just soak straight in? That would be quite intriguing, actually, to find out. So I'm going to show you the equivalent in the pen form. So this is out the pot. I'm going to turn the light down a touch. Can you see the sparkle on that? Look at that. But now I've turned the light down, you can see how intense those colours are. So these are pen form. It is, isn't it? It's very schmexy. I think it's probably why I prefer to use these products, because you get instant gratification with the colour laydown. Oh, God, something's going to go crashing in a minute. I want these next because I want to show you, because these are brand new. Definitely for calligraphy. People love doing calligraphy with these pens. With the inks even. I'm not very good at it, so I'm not even going to try and show you. So these are the glitter. And they're pump action. So again, you can see how rich that pigment is. And you can see instantly how sparkly it is. Let's grab this orange. I haven't used these a lot, and I think I need to store them the other way up really. I'm a bit naughty storing these. And that's the orange. But you can then go in again and water activate these. Not as smooth as the inks, but it gives you an idea of what you can do with them. That colour is just in your face. I love it. Absolutely love it. Right, so let's give you a bit of a tour of all the watercolour based products that I have that we are going to have a play with today. We might not necessarily get to use all of them. So let's just draw some really basic geodes. Right, tip of the day. If you're going to do anything in watercolour, use a watercolour pencil for your line work. So for the geodes, for example, if we do the first one, I love this combination of this green and blue. And then maybe a hint of the purple as well. So what should we have a go at first? Should we do the crayons first and see how we get on? Since we've got limited colours with these. So because I haven't got anything I can draw with for those, I'm going to just use a Spectrum Noir watercolour pencil. Broke my sharpener. Crap. Yep. Damn it. That's because I was sharpening. No, it's because it's got a lead in there. Sorry guys. Oh, that's a lovely reason to disappear, but you have missed loads of information, Leslie. Spectrum Noir Aqua Tints, that's it. Pots, you'll see them coming, and you get them in like sets of 3. Leslie will tell you how amazing they are because she's recently got some too. Oh, there we go. That'll do. I don't need it mega sharp. So we're going to go with these colours for the minute and maybe add a purple in. So we're going to, no we're not, we're going to go with these 3 at the minute. So let's just draw a basic single geode for now, just to make it easy to work through what we're doing basically. So we're going to keep it pretty simple. And on this one, and the reason, as I say, just outline if you can, even if you just get a really pale blue or a pale pink or even yellow. Hi Abigail. Just use a watercolour based product to do your line work with. Then that way you're not sort of fighting with having graphite muddying your work. Okay, so we're going to work from our darkest. So these are the Marabou Art Crayons. Again, actually, this is something you can use on wood. So I'm going to show you on plastic. And again, the Neo crayons as well. But you could use them. In fact, I think the Neo crayons are better for colour laydown. You could go for them, but they are quite expensive. So I'm just going to shove some colour down. This isn't going to be pretty, I don't think, but if I go this way, then there shouldn't be too much of an odd colour blend. Let's just highlight on the top there. Trying to avoid any of the yellow going into the purple, otherwise it's just going to look muddy. So that's literally all I've done, is I've just scribbled some colour down. zoom you in. Can you see okay? I think you can. Okay. And then we're just going to get brushing. I'm just going to use a small brush for now. Fairly saturated to begin with. It is pretty wet. And then start in your dark colour. You can start in your light if you want, but just I'm going to get that all activated. And then I'm going to come up into the light. Definitely still not as keen on these. Don't know what it is. They just feel, I don't know, dusty. I don't know if that makes sense. That's what I think I like about the markers, is the colours are clean. Let's just get it all doing its thing. It's just, I don't know, I don't even like the combination because it's not red, it is magenta. They don't even blend nicely into the yellow, in my opinion. Yeah, you're right, they shouldn't call it autocorrect, should they? Right, while there's wet patches, I'm going to go in and lay a bit of kitchen roll over the top and just patch down really gently and then lift it up, and that takes some of the excess away. And then if I want to move stuff around, I can, but it's not going to shift. Look, it's not shifting at all. Now I'm going over it. And in fact you lose all of the colour. I'm going to try and work straight off ish. I was unimpressed the first time I used these. So yeah, don't like them. Boo to them, they're going away. Let's do the outline with the pen itself because it'd be similar colour anyway, so I'm gonna just patch this, I think, and I'm literally just gonna scribble just how I would normally work with pen. Yeah, I was not keen on them when I got them. I think they're great if you're doing large canvas work, but really not my cup of tea. I'm going to leave some quite heavy bits of water on here. Again, because they're pen, they need a little bit more water to be able to, it needs to soak into the paper for the paper to then be able to drag the colour around, if that makes sense. So with markers, you have to give them time. A lot of people don't give them enough time. And then they get put off and they think they're not working properly. They are, it's just that they're not given the right amount of time. You can see the difference in the blending already. It speaks for itself. Let's do some traditionals, shall we? Can't not have some. Even if they are tiny. Let's steal some colour from here, shall we? Like like mega tiny, you can barely see it actually. You don't have to, but again, I'm just going to take some off. Clean water, fairly wet brush, and tap over the top, and then just leave it, and it creates a really, really nice texture. Oh, bless you, Joanne. I hope you can get some rest, my lovely. Getting the old hairdryer out. Right, hairdryer noise. Carry on drying on its own, but yeah, you can see already how much nicer it is. I mean, I'm only doing these really roughly and quickly just to demo how they're working. So I'll tell you what, just for the sake of doing something slightly different, and we're going to work straight off the Inktense blocks. So let's go straight into the yellow, and it's already dried my brush up. I'm going to go in with that magenta colour. I'm just going to work my way round what's on the blocks. Blue. But it's much more like working with normal watercolour. Do love that green. Such a nice green. Just have a play with blending of. You're going to have to do it before it dries, remember, because once it's activated, you will not be able to reactivate it. You have to remember that with this stuff. And this really weird, horrible colour. It's just so powdery, it's really odd. But again, if you do it while it's still wet, you can add texture and things to it, but you have to do it when it's wet. I don't know, if I zoom you in, can you see it starting to create this texture here? Very similar to what it's done on this side. Oh, the purple and the yellow and the green are just superb colours. Let's try and dry that off a little bit quicker so you can see. Oh, I've got the picture in there now. I don't know know how well this is going to convey through the camera, but can you... I swear I'm being called again. See that they're just being really loud. I was going to say, they are quite chalky. So you can even feel the chalkiness to them actually. But if I show you, it shouldn't. It's moved a tiny bit, but not a lot. You can see what I mean about it doesn't move once it dries. So you've got a little bit of movement there, but if I take you over to like the marker, for example, you get a lot more movement out of that. And again, the black, I can go in and it's much more movement on there. So, but it just looks, I mean, people have done some superb work with the Inktense and they are really nice, and I do really like the colours. But you could do some really, I mean, if you're doing some really fine stuff and detailed stuff, they're going to look absolutely superb. So I know straight away that between, in fact, let's do one. I'm going to do a quick, let's just do a quick simple one with the Neo. Oh, and a normal watercolour. Let's show you those and then we'll crack on and we'll do some proper ones. Oops. Okay. So this is the Neo Colour 2. But if you're doing like an animal or something a bit more detailed, you'd be a lot more precise in where your colour lay down would be. So I'm just going to have a bit of fun with these and just very loosely. There's a lot more opacity to the Neo Geo than there is with the markers and the pencils, and I think because they're a crayon base, they tend to have, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know whether you can see it clearly or not actually, to be honest. But I'm gonna, let's give that a quick dry. And then see what it does with clean water. It does do the push out effect because I haven't actually done that on here before. But it's like, it's almost like painting with gouache. If you've ever painted, it's such a stupid word. If you've ever painted with gouache, it's got that opacity to it. It's really creamy, really, I don't know. They are nice to work with. When I used to do my animal portraits in watercolour, my mini ones, this is what I used to use. So you can still lift out some colour if you wanted to give it some texture. The only downside to them is the cost. Let's give it a dry again. So you'll find that with the Neo Geo, it has a similar chalky finish to the Inktense, but you get much more of a watercolor effect. Let's see if I can bring it up. Can you see like the edges happening here? You get much more of a watercolor effect as you do with the markers compared to what you do with the pencils. So the last one I'll show you is with the palette. This is the upside to using a palette. You can't necessarily do this with any of the tools that I have showed you unless you have a palette, because it desaturates your tool too quickly. So all I've done is put water, you can see it, I've just put water on the surface, and I'm just going to pick a colour and go straight on to the water and just let it go wherever it wants to go. Which is my favourite method for doing these types of things. Because it just allows it to spread and travel to wherever it wants to go. The only sort of major difference I would say that there is probably the pigmentation once it dries is a lot lighter when you use it from a palette than if you were to use it directly from the pencil or a pen. Give that a quick dry. So you can see how much lighter it's dried from when it started, but you can see the difference in the pigmentation between a marker and a, you know, working straight from the palette. So you end up having to, unless you want pale colours, you have to build up a lot more using a palette. So you have to do 2 or 3 layers to get the colour intensity that you need to get. But certainly overall for me, these 3 out of the tools used so far are my favourites. I love the colour of the Inktense, but I don't like the way it manipulates. I prefer watercolour to be watercolour, but it just gives you a bit of an idea at least. Do you have a favourite so far? So I think we are not going to use the Neo Geos. Just going to put some bits to one side so we've got a bit of room to play. We can all go in now. Tidy that in the morning. So let's do a tutorial on how to actually do a full piece, shall we? Actually, yeah, screw it. Let's do something a little bit different, shall we? We're going to do a geode slice. What do you reckon? Come on, focus. Thank you. Neo are your favourite so far. Yeah, they are really, really nice. And I love the fact that you can use them on non-paper surfaces as well. Spectrum Noir for me suits what I do. And the colour is just in your face. Okay, so let's do something a little bit different, shall we? I've never done one of these, so we're going to learn together. And we're going to do a geode slice instead. It looks like my kids had great fun with this, as it looks pink. Thank God it comes with a spare nib, huh? If I can get the spare nib out. There we go, nice and clean again. This is, if you haven't seen it before, a pen version for, well, it's drawing gum basically. For me, it was the second one you did. This one, yeah, the markers. Yeah. See, I do like, because I like the opacity you get with the Neo Geo, but with all of the pencil and wax-based products, they just look too powdery for me. It's, yeah, it's a tough one. I'm just going to draw a very rough, I'm hoping this is going to work with the drawing gum. I think it is. Oh, there we go, it's a bit better. Come on. Should have kept the shape a bit more simple really, but I'm just using the drawing gum to, I don't want it to go outside an area. You could use washi tape, but if you're doing a simpler shape. This actually came in a scrawler box, I think it was. Okay, so I've just drawn, I don't know, a puddle shape, I guess. No, it's odd, isn't it? It is odd. It's not one I can get my head around easily. I'm pretty sure you can reactivate them afterwards. Should we have a look at, right, let's have a look at the reactivating properties so far. So nothing really from the crayons. Shifting a little bit, but not a huge amount. The markers, which I'd expect, shifts quite well. Obviously the Inktense shouldn't, they say, shouldn't shift at all, but this is for some reason. It's not shifting very well, mind, but, oh, actually it might be my pencil because the blue's not moving. And the Neo Geo is, yeah, look, really, really lovely activated actually. Activates again really nicely. And then of course standard watercolour we know will activate, but it will stain as well, which most of them do because the pigment sinks in after a while. I've never used Neo Colour, but they just poked the best. looked the best. I know what you meant. Right, let's do some satisfying stuff, shall we? Less yabbering, more art. I don't know what I'm doing. We're just going with the flow now, guys. I'm just going to use, I probably should have picked other colours, but hey ho. I'm just going to try and use what's in front of me. Well, that should be wet enough. We'll be ready for the satisfying bit. I believe so, yes. Oh, look at that. Satisfaction. Oh, yep. Just putting these down as base colours, and then we're going to work over the top. It's really bright, isn't it? The ring lights literally sort of shining right on it. Let me turn the ring light down a bit. That's a little bit better. Okay, now because I've left all my pots up there, let's just go with these two colours for now because it's what I've got in my hand. Oh, it's just so satisfying. So whatever I've got left on my brush, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just making a mess. I have no clues. But let's make a mess together, huh? Shape in the middle just needs altering, I think. It's too perfectly round. That's better. They do work really well, and I like the fact that you should see them push against each other. So the wetter the paper is, the more they push against each other. Trying not to go over that edge, although I've just made a fingerprint mess there. It's like a one-eyed monster. Let's just get that moved. I'm going to leave some areas white. Basically pulled where the paper's curled, because I couldn't be bothered to tape it down. So I've gone over the line there, which is really annoying, but it is what it is. I'm just making a mess. Let's face it. Right. Gonna go up one notch. So probably, oh no, it's not too bad actually. Just going to take the gum off now. Yeah, honestly, these will be amazing for glue, especially if you've got dip pens. show you what I mean. So that's our sort of background. I mean, that shine is the glitter. That isn't shine from it being wet. That is shine from the glitter. Oh, where did I put my bowls? Where did I put my bowls? I'll use a palette. That'd be much easier. Oh, they're in there. I tend to use a deep palette if I'm using the... So, I'm going to put a bit of ink in there. If I turn it, you can see it. So there's the ink. Dip pen. Beautiful. Dip it in the ink. You can use a bit more than I'm going to use, but and then let's just you see, oh, you can see that nicely. Good. And one dip actually goes quite a long way. All you've got to do is turn your pen so it works down a different channel. So that's it with a dip pen. I had a really lovely one before, but it got damaged when I moved the office round. And the tip chipped. So yeah, ended up getting a different one. Well, this one. I'm purposely making it jaggedy. I think it's a little bit too perfect at the moment. I had to get blue, of course. There's no other better colour than blue. More in there. Trouble is, because this is glitter, I need the non-glitter version. What colour is it? Pink garnet. Pink garnet. Pink garnet. I need the non-glitter version, really, because the glitter obviously holds up the travelling up the barrel. Or you gotta love a pretty box. We'll get some white on here in a minute as well. We won't just keep it. It just goes on for ages. Which is good stuff. Right, so I'm going to use, instead of another one of those, I think this colour should go. Possibly, I think it's too earthy. I didn't think alcohol worked very well with the watercolour side of things. I must admit, it's not something I've experimented with a lot. I haven't got the right green, so I think we're going to... let's go with that. It's quite different, isn't it? Well, just standard rubbing alcohol. I wouldn't have thought it would work. Now I'm intrigued because I haven't ever used... I've got alcohol inks and I've done it with alcohol inks, but I've never used it with water-based inks. And now I'm intrigued. Right, I'm going to go and get some. Somewhere in here in box of tricks. My Yupo paper. There it is. Indicated by a mushroom on it. I hear footsteps. What do you want, child?
I can't sleep. Can I sit here but not put my face in the camera?
Why is your eye so red?
Don't know.
Makeup.
Yeah. As my affected eyes gone, then I can do a little bit of it.
Okay, let's put some in the middle, shall we? See what happens.
Yeah. I love watching art.
Right, let's give this a go then. I'm going to put one little drop in the middle. It's not doing nothing. What am I doing wrong?
Don't know.
I don't know either. I must be doing something wrong.
I think you have to squirt the whole thing on the paper.
It's just soaking through the paper. Abigail will tell me in a minute. I'm going to do my... Right, clean water.
It looks like my hair.
It does look like your hair, doesn't it?
My hair's that colour.
Clean water.
That ain't clean water.
Well, it's as clean as it's gonna get.
I forgot how cool these are. It's like an ink and quill.
Let's get some big splotches on there, shall we? Especially in the middle.
That looks actually really nice.
Let's...
In proper eyes and like real person, it actually looks very nice, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Normally on camera it doesn't show up that well.
Right, let's have a go then. Let's get it on wet. Where'd it go, Ams?
There it is. It took me like a few seconds to say, there it is. Why is it my hair colour? Such a lovely colour though.
Ooh, yeah, I see what you mean.
What is that, Mum?
Actually, yeah, that could work all on its own.
Mum, what is that?
Alcohol. Rubbing alcohol.
Yeah.
Right, let's do a big one, shall we?
Yes. What? Bing, bing.
That is quite funky.
It likes to make this circle around it.
So does it react in different ways to different colours?
Just to let you know, Madison's asleep.
She is asleep, is she?
Yeah. Poked her in the face, she won't wake up. Deep,
Oh,
deep
how
sleep.
nice.
What? That's what every sister does, right? Poke their sister to see if they're asleep.
I'm just going to poke you in the face to see if you're asleep.
Wow. Looks like a lime.
It's because it's drying that water off quickly, isn't it?
But I think it looks amazing.
Look at that.
Looks like a lime.
Little, Oh, that stinks. Oh, there you go.
I can't smell it much. No smell.
Even better on the glitter because it forces a change.
I can't smell it, Mum.
Can't you? I can.
your tissue has the same mark as it.
I know, it's cool, isn't it?
It's not cool when it gets.
Really cool, isn't it?
I love it.
Reminds me of a planet.
It'd be called Planet Mintu.
Planet Geodes. You can tell I'm warming up. This one not been used before. It's very watery. Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. Full bearing's moving now.
It's just like silence and go.
It's a shame it doesn't split the colours, because it'd be really cool if you get that that colour split.
Or you could drop it once and it'll make a big splash, drop it again and make a small splash.
Well, it dries instantly, so I don't know whether that would work. We'd have to give it a go, wouldn't we, on wet? Should we try again then?
Yeah.
So let's put some there.
I love that colour.
Yeah, I do. So we're going to do one splash. And then another one in the middle. Yeah, it doesn't quite
do
the thing, does it?
So is that this colour?
Yeah.
Alright, note to self. One day I'm going to dye my hair with ink for an experiment. Oh, it actually changes like an orangey colour.
You're going to what now?
When I'm older, I'm going to dye my hair with ink.
When you're older, you're going to dye your hair with ink?
Yes. If I dye my hair with ink right now, then
I might have a fit.
I'd turn red. Yes, I would.
Don't know how well we're going to see this. This seems really watery. God, that's so bad. What's going on there?
That's the one that you're shaking right now is actually really good quality. You silver, it looks very nice.
I am. We're just having a play at the minute. We'll do a proper geode thingy in a minute.
Okay. There we go. That looks nice.
Nice. Stinks, but
I can't smell it. Can you put it to my nose so I can sniff it? Not much. Wow, look at it on camera.
Can you see it? Wow! God, oh, I got all excited then. Love the little commentary from Amelie. Oh man, Amelie makes very good live feed companion actually.
Yeah, any live feed, good companion. I would ask to use this for the black just to go.
Why?
But I wouldn't do that.
There's a load of liner pens in your box now.
Which box?
Down on the floor.
The floor.
That is quite cool. I actually really like that. Just wish the white would translate.
Thank you, Mum. Oh, this is nice.
I don't know if it's because it's watercolour paper. It must be because it's watercolour paper. We'll go to old Miss Reliable, shall we?
The one with the black smudge on it is so good.
The black smudge.
Yep, the one with the black smudge on it.
I need to get some more of these.
It's so good. It might start off kind of crab.
Yeah, it's only because of the glitter on the paper. That's the only reason.
I say crab. I draw my hand and it comes out perfectly. Yeah, I draw my hand with it.
Quite work as well, does it? The silver tends to be the better.
But then the silver tip don't look so good. Yeah, because I use your pens. Nothing ever looks good.
Well, that's because you use them on everything and anything. I tell you what, you ever want a art supply tested?
It will be tested up the walls.
To see how it's going to react on various surfaces.
Oh, look, let's try on carpet. Ooh, look, let's try it on the wall. Ooh, look, we'll try it on the counter. Ooh, look, let's try it on the cat.
The joys.
Imagine you seeing someone paint on their cat.
What, like Safi when she ran through the painting and then ran through the house?
Yeah.
Was that Safi or was that Dee Dee? Because that was a lot. It was Dee Dee, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And she went slippy slidey all over your canvas that was on the floor and then ran it straight through the house.
She ruined it. Yeah. But it's okay because we can paint over it.
I'm sorry, but this is rather magnificent in real life. I wish you could see it in real life.
Yes, it looks beautiful.
Obviously, I'd have a lot more play if I knew what the hell I was doing to begin with. But actually, it looks quite stunning.
Oh, it looks so beautiful on camera.
Let me turn that.
Why is your lighting so good? Maybe because you have a ring light.
Yeah. I'm just going to turn it down a little bit so there's not so much glare. That's silver and it's so glittery.
Everyone must be wondering what you're looking at. Because you're looking that side.
Oh, what, in the webcam?
Yeah. Surprised nobody's talking about how late it is and I'm up.
Because they know what you're like.
Do they?
It is quite a cool effect, actually. Something, I'll tell you what, that's really nice to, like, if you just want to make a mess and experiment with colours, this is the sort of thing that you can just sit and relax and do without there having to be any sort of expectation.
You know what I could do? I could sit down and draw this.
Do you know what that reminds me of? You won't have a clue what I'm talking about. But some people on YouTube might. They remind me of the Mike Oldfield tubular bells. I know it's a different shape, but that's what they remind me of.
They remind me of...
I love it. I don't know what it is, but you'd have great fun doing this, wouldn't you?
Imagine having this for a tattoo. If you had a tattoo of this, where would you put it?
It was quite small, so probably on the wrist, something like that.
I think I would put it on my hand here.
Right, I'm going to do the geode the way I wanted to do it earlier. Oh, I thought I had a bigger circle than that. I did, didn't I? Did I use that one, Ams? Can you remember? Yeah, I did.
I don't know, because I wasn't down here when you were doing this.
Well, you were, because we were doing the unboxing, and then I didn't bother actually finishing the unboxing because I was so fed up with what we got in the box.
What was it? The up crate?
School box, wasn't it?
No.
I haven't opened the up crate yet.
Well, imagine we got the same exact thing. Disappointing up crate. Disappointing.
No, it was... It must have been up crate.
Yeah, because you stopped buying schooler boxes.
Not yet. I will do. I'm going to do one more and then...
I can't cut straight.
Right, the basis is I'm going to do a geode in the middle or a gemstone, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to fill the back to have a mirror finish because I really like that finish. You have missed loads, young man. Go to the naughty step.
Who?
See you later. Have a good rest of the evening.
Who's a naughty man?
You'd have to seal them for bookmarks. Yeah, actually, if you laminated them...
You should laminate that.
We should do that, shouldn't we? Should we do some tomorrow? Oh, actually, I'm waiting for my laminating sheets to turn up. I don't think they're going to turn up till... Not tomorrow, the day after.
Year.
Okay, so... Oh, God. Oh, let's just break my expensive ruler. Let's... Actually, I might even look up some shapes because...
Your camera don't know what it's doing.
No, it's because my arm's gone in the way. I have actually got a whole video on doing geodes to practice your shading. It is actually a really, really good way to practice. Need a really light blue. I don't want the marks heavy at all. Originally I was going to do a galaxy, and I might still, I don't know. So have the geode or the gem or whatever in the middle, and then have the back completely black with stars. What do you guys reckon?
I don't know. I think you should do. I don't know. Gem Diglets.
Oh, Diglets.
What? They remind me of Diglets.
Yeah, I guess they do a little bit, don't they?
Because lots of people see crystals in a 3-pack and then they remind me of Diglets.
Hi, Emily. You sound so cute. Are you as talented as your mother? Let me show them your
Stamping seals?
We can't show them that because it's top secret. She nearly gave a big secret away there. But where's your sunset? There on the top. Show them your sunset you did.
What's this? I did this. You can tell by it's mine because the mini mountains and the birds and the sun.
She loves drawing mountains, and she loves doing ombres in skies, don't you?
Tins. I'm better than my mother. No. I'm never going to be as good.
Excuse me, none of that, please.
Why?
Because you will be.
Yeah! Always stealing scrap pieces of paper. Because sometimes I can't find my own.
See, look, wow, beautiful. You had 2 wows there.
I'm always finding paper.
So if you just want to, like, I've grabbed a reference of just like some geode shapes. Just because my brain doesn't want to function on no sleep for the last 24 hours. Can you see that very well? Just gives you the gist. Oh yeah, it's very Lion King, isn't it?
No.
Somehow I've lost the ability to draw a straight line. What's up, Hams?
Nothing. Think of what I should draw. And grab my pencil, which has a rubber band on it.
Okay, we'll do one more here. So what do we think? Do we think a space background or keep the background a solid silver? I'll do some very thin ones just poking up.
I shouldn't be.
So do you know what you're doing at school tomorrow?
Don't know. Our teacher gives us sweets.
Space. Right, I've had a couple of space. One space. Any more for space or silver solid background? Man.
Then why are you doing this?
Because I'm glutton for punishment and I missed my art fam. I haven't seen my YouTube art fam in so long.
You don't miss me.
What? It's because I see you every day.
But you still miss. You should miss me at school.
I was actually really excited to come pick you up from school today.
Why?
Why not? Oh man, now we've got one each. Come on guys, hands up. What do we think? Silver solid or space background?
Gold. Gold. Gold.
There's always one, isn't there? Always one.
Gold.
Always one.
Rainbow, 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 rainbow.
2 for solid silver.
Rainbow.
Ding, ding, ding. I've had an idea.
What? Beano? Is it Beano? It better be Beano. What are you doing?
I love having ideas in the
It's
middle
not
of...
Beano. Beano.
But I do not want any fussing over you tomorrow, young lady. Not being able to get up in the morning.
I don't
Hmm?
I don't really mind because you yell up to me that, and then I'm actually awake, but I'm lying in bed with my eyes closed.
Silver space. Right, I am going to do both.
Why? Why would you do both?
So that's the middle, that's the middle. So I'm going to do space behind the geodes. And then I'm going to do the silver around the space. What do we think? Am I having a moment?
I don't know.
Have I gone a bit cray-cray?
I don't know, but I've just made an ombre using this piece of glass. Wow.
Do you know what? I'm tempted to use my pens in this lot. I am tempted.
I've made my mini pond.
Right, brill. Okay, I think we've got there. So let's do the geodes first. And really sort of on colours at the minute. Blue topaz, aquamarine. I think that's going to be too dark for what I want.
This is what I do when I want darker green. I add some black to the green, mix it up so I get darker green. When I get my darker green, I get to draw what I need. I dip this in around 2 seconds.
They are open to children with educational health plans, which Amelie has because of her autism, and key workers.
Guess who goes there?
Who?
Starts with a P. Not Blondie.
What, the one you were having trouble with before?
Always having trouble. Yeah.
Ugh.
She's there.
Yeah, so because my husband's a key worker, it means that Madison can go back, but we've opted for them only to go back. Amelie goes back 2 days a week, because the trouble was in the last lockdown, when they then expected her to go into school, it was just too overwhelming.
I was too scared.
I know you were, darling. And we were having days where we had refusals to go in. Then we had, like, we ended up doing half days, didn't we? And because it was such a shock going from one lot of hours to another, we really had to think about how we were going to do it this time where it wasn't such a shock to the system. It just went. It just pen sneezed on me. That's a very.
Can I have a small piece of tissue?
Very dark purple thing happening now. Hang on. This is the joy of this. It goes so far, I can just literally work from that tiny bit on there.
Tiniest piece. Tiniest piece. For my tiny mistake. Too much ink. Why is your fan going off? Fan's like, wake up, wake up. I drew this. I drew a mini lake.
Damn it. Oh, that's cute. There's so much ink gone down. As I say, you need so little of this stuff.
Yes. Yes, you do. The worst colour to use is one of the reds. Because I used one of the reds and it exploded all over my foot. There used to be a stain on my foot and it would never go away.
No, it's all over my carpet.
Yes, yes it is. Not surprising though. If it explodes, it goes everywhere.
The joys of arting. And that was arting.
What?
Oh my god, I said the most ridiculous thing on a TikTok live the other day, didn't I, Ams? What did I say? I was doing something in pastel, wasn't I?
Yeah.
And what words came out of my mouth?
Use it.
Was it I'm blowing pastel dust?
No, there's pastel dust in.
Oh, I was sneezing, wasn't I?
Mhm.
I was sneezing because it was a load of pastel dust, and I literally turned round and said, I got pastel dust up my bum. Didn't I?
Not up your nose, up your bum.
Not up my nose, up my bum. So I don't. Oh, bloody hell. So I don't know how that makes me sneeze, but hey, it did, apparently. Somehow. It's a new one on me, I have to say.
Surprised you haven't got angry at what I'm doing yet.
Why? It'll just wash off.
Please don't watch this off. So I think it's very cute.
You just think I get. You really have to be careful on here.
Yes, yes, I should. I'll be more careful. I'm gonna get myself some water.
I really should have just splopped stuff everywhere and then just gone with the flow, I think. Yeah, I like it.
Can I have some normal fizzy water?
Plain fizzy, yeah. The only trouble I have is that she craves the structure that I can't give her, so homeschooling is actually a nightmare. What are you doing?
I'm cleaning this cup because there's dirt in it. It doesn't clean their cups.
Do you know, I might put some of this pink in there because it's so nice and vibrant. Let's just get some of this washed out so I can see what I'm doing. I think I'm just going to wash it all out, see where it goes, and then I can define shapes after. I think I'm being a bit fussy. And I'm losing a bit of that looseness that we have in the Bonita Doodles way.
In the Bonita Doodles way is when you say you got pastel dust up your butt.
Is that the new Bonita Doodles way? Is it? I got pastel dust up my butt.
It definitely is. And Dee Dee's looking at me. What Dee Dee? What, have you seen a ghost? Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I do envy those that can sit with their kids and do it.
Do what?
It's just so hard for fam.
Do you want a bamboo cup?
Full of water.
No, empty.
It is just so hard for families at the moment.
Especially families who have autistic children in the family. That's worse.
That feels better. We're getting a little bit of variety now, if that makes sense. I can neaten these ones up when I come in with the galaxy effect. I think once we get that black in there, it's really, really going to make these colours pop. Let's get some colour in here, shall we? Still roughly got the shape. So this is where I can come in with the watercolour pencils next and define shapes with the watercolour pencil.
I cut a paper straw. Yeah. I need to make sure it's perfect for my bamboo cup. I need a bamboo straw. Yeah.
Got metal straws.
Metal straws are too big, so I cut paper straw.
Yeah, but we got... Oh, too long, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get some blue down here.
I get purple and I draw high on it.
Well, I am liking the colour combo. I think the colour combo is working really well.
And then I drew a smiley face. And that was the end of my story. No, it wasn't. I cut the mini pond out. Because I want the mini pond.
The mini pond's really cute.
I drew one of these on my book in school.
I need a clean bit of kitchen roll because that's how I ended up. What did you do with the kitchen roll, babe? Thank you, sweetheart.
I drew this mini pond on my book at school.
Did you?
Miss Carter didn't mind. She thought it was really pretty.
Ah. Well, I'm going to dry this and then we're going to go over with the pencil. Probably the Inktense. Away. Woohoo! I'm loving it. What do you reckon, guys? I like that so far. So now we've done like the loose watercolour bits, this is where you can come in, as I say, with the pens or pencils, I should say, and try and get some of my lines back. So this one being behind needs to be darker, so I can come in . So I'm going to do a mix of purple and blue.
Here's my mini pond. I don't know how to get in the Come on.
It won't focus, darling, because the autofocus is... hang on. There you go. They can bring it right up. It's weird, isn't it? And there you go. Mini pond. We focused. I can. I don't necessarily. Do I want to? I don't know. So I can then come in and just intensify then. And just start to divide up some of the geodes. You can work straight off your pencil as well. You don't have to work on your paper. You can just literally wipe the pencil. Actually, I might go with the violet on here. And, by the way, another good little flicky technique for those of you that like to do the flicky technique.
I tried a flicky technique and boom, I now have freckles on me.
I'm going to show you on this bit of paper, and we'll do it here. If you wet your brush and go on the edge of your pencil, you can get some really, really nice flicks. It's a really nice effect to have. What do I want to do? We want to go... Yeah, I've lost the shape.
Mum.
Yes.
Have you seen the really funny meme? You might haven't seen it, but this cat made a big mess, and this man held its hand and made it clean up the mess.
Oh, did it?
So he used the cat to scoop up a handful of a time and put it in. It looked hilarious.
Oh. So this is the joy of using the watercolour pencils, is you can come in and just define areas. So where I've completely lost that geode at the front there, I can now come in. Have you run off with my brush? Or have I run off with my brush? I have. It's in my hand.
Yeah, but this is your brush at the same time.
Well, yeah, they all are.
Except from the ones that I have.
Sorry, you can use
I have
those
a
ones.
paintbrush that I use for a makeup brush. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Trying to use the force to get it.
The force?
Yes. Okay, got a piece.
This one's doing my head in. I don't understand what I've done.
Mother.
Yes, child.
Can you put some of that rubbing alcohol on this? It's right there.
Well, you do it then. What's the matter?
Nothing.
You're quite capable.
Are you sure?
What I might do is chop that there with the black paint when I come into it. I think that needs cutting down a bit, so I'm going to bring that in. Straighten that line up a bit. You can dip your pencil.
I can dip this piece of paper in
into water.
It looks really cool. Sorry.
But don't dip the wood in, otherwise you end up splitting the wood. But then you can go straight on and you can get some really intense colour lay down. But mind that your paper isn't too wet, otherwise it ends up scratching and tearing your paper.
It's definitely not the way to do this, but never mind.
What are you trying to do?
Nothing. Let me get this.
Right, I'm not keen on what's going on there, but I'm going to have to adjust that. In fact, I could probably do that with the paint. Yeah, that's better. Just needs to be matched a bit more with the colour. There we go. When we go and put the white highlights and everything on afterwards, whoa, careful.
Yes, I should be careful.
Yeah, you should. Little Miss Accident prone.
You can buy this cup that won't fall over. You could beat it up and it won't fall over. Yeah.
Just going to use a different colour up there to separate that. So imagine that gone. That's not going to be there. Okay, we need to darken it in there. That's better. So we're gradually dividing them. I'm going to dip the pencil in. So I don't know if you're still there, Gary, but you can do this with your pencils. You can dip them into the water.
I've been dipping my pencils in water.
Once I get the highlights on there, that is going to help.
Sponge for?
That's to put water, so when I've got my brush, I can just dip it onto that.
I love this mini palette.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah. The colours are kind of different.
I seem to be drawing extra geodes that weren't there. Right, you're going to go back to bed?
No.
Oh, why not?
I want to chill in the living room.
Oh, are you?
Yes, yes, I am. Oh, why do you think that guy for you?
Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the background to give this a chance to dry. I'm going to lift some of that up. The thing with watercolours is you do have to layer. Oh, here she comes with the superstar. Hello, superstar.
It's Hammy. Everyone say hi to Hammy. Alright, there goes Hammy. Let's go. Let's go chill out. Ride together.
This is why not a lot of work gets done. Why videos haven't been made. Because it's nearly impossible. Right, I'm going to let that dry while we go in with the black. I think Amelie has, I don't know what she's done here. I'm pretty sure that's solid black. We'll find out. Let's start this side. No, we're going in here, aren't we? Nearly messed up. I'm hoping I should have let it dry fully. Crap. See how steady my hand is now. Can I make a nice no circle? Not that it matters actually, because the silver will hopefully I still got you on. Yeah, I'm worried I keep coming off of the screen a little bit. So this is the bit we're going to chop off. Like so. That's better. Do you know, I've got this paintbrush in I think it was a Scrawler box, and it's one of the best paintbrushes. It might be even an upgrade actually. I've just realised I'm missing the circle on the outside, aren't I? I totally am. So it was this one I used, wasn't it? Oh no, maybe I'm not. No. No, I'm not. Okay. Panic over. Okay. Hoping. I don't think that's dry enough. I'm going to get the hairdryer out. It just says sea white. Sea white number 6. So you might need to just Google. Come on. Sea white. But it has a really fine point on the end. And it doesn't seem to split. So it's really, really great for doing bulk as well as detail. I think it was Upgrade it came in. Scrawler box tend to have a lot of Scrawler exclusives, so I'm pretty sure. holding my breath whilst lining this. I know what I've done. This shouldn't have extended down. That's what I've done wrong, you donut. Ugh. What a plonker. Right, I'm going to have to think of a way around that. I thought it looked odd. Okay, thinking cap on. Oh, she's put so much black in the palette, it's gonna go on forever. Okay, I'm going to have to turn one of these geodes into something else because that's just messed up. So we're going to do something slightly different.
Bamboo cup.
Right, I'm just soaking some of the colour off, or as much of the colour off as I can. And then I'm going to somehow magic another geode at the front here. Has Amelie gone off to bed, missing her little comments? She's gone to chill in the sitting room.
I'll be back a little later.
Well, you won't, Mrs. You'll be in bed. I think you will be. Cheeky. See? What do they say about happy little accidents? Trust the process. She does struggle. She gets so nervy and things like that, and yeah, school's not easy for her. How are we doing so far? This edge is annoying me a little bit. So we're going to go in with a load of water and draw out some of that. And what I might do is just maybe a little shadow cast at the back here. Like so. That helps. They do. That They do. See, the joy of doing all this mucking about beforehand, all this sort of stuff where you just completely playing and mucking about and messing about, all it does is help loosen you up. You know, it's part of the reason why artists should use their sketchbooks, because just like a gymnast or whatever, you know, you need to be warming up. And it's no different to illustrators. They warm their wrist up by working in their sketchbooks to begin with. Do some more of that water on the background there, save me having to do too much in the way of stars. While that's doing its thing, we'll just put a few highlights in. Don't really want to do much in the way of, I'd rather have done it in by release of colour. Let's see if I still can actually. I need a bit of a shadow under here for that back one there. Every time I've got 2 tubs of water and both of them are just absolutely really riddled with colour, so none of it's particularly clean. So if I want to do any colour pullback, I can't as such. I'm going to pull out some of this colour on the top here. So I'm just going to keep going over it with clean water until I'm happy with how much colour I can pull out. It's already looking better. There we go. That looks a bit more naturally. Do you know what? I might actually use a bit of the old acrylic ink for the white instead of using the gel pen. That way I can go in and pat it down a bit. Softer, isn't it? This is just Daily Roundy FW ink. Get out of it. And it's got slight transparency to it, so you don't get that starkness that you can sometimes. That's just what we need. There we go. There we go. Looking a bit better. almost done. I'm not even going to bother tidying my desk because my my organising gear is going to turn up tomorrow, so it can all sit on my desk until I'm ready. So do you think you're going to have a go at doing something like this? I mean, Gary, you should be able to do this with your pencils. You might have to watch the beginning, because I went through a few of the different sort of mediums and things that you can use, but quite a little bit more just to bring forward some of these geode shapes. It's a bit better. I quite like the transparency because it seems to give them a bit of a glow, if that makes sense. I'm going to get the silver on and then we're going to see how we're looking, because that'll finish off this awful line here as well. So let's just do some very quick stars. That'd make a nice little sticker, I think. Oh, I've accidentally made a shooting star. Let's just go with the flow, shall we? Let's put one in there as well. Yeah, it has got that sort of Fortress of Solitude vibe about it, hasn't it? It is Fortress of Solitude, isn't it? I'm showing my ignorance now. And this sort of thing would work really well with your Aqua Tints, Leslie. I think that's enough. I think if I do any more, I'm going to end up doing too much. line a bit there. That's better. Right, let's get the gold, no, silver going. Make sure you tag me if you do, I'd love to see it. Or share in the group, of course. Stinky pen. Oh, it's going to look lush. This is one for the office wall, I think. Tell my kids had hold of this. I'm going to get in there, but we're might need a second coat tomorrow. Where she's gone mad with it, the nib isn't very healthy, so I might have to get another one. I might chop that off. That's better. I'm really worried about going around this edge. I don't know, I'm going to get all the way around. It's the only one I've got like this, decent one. I think that's about as perfect circle as I'm going to get with regards to the black. I'm wondering if I can go in with my black Posca pen just on the very edge. Really clean it. Oh, I don't think it's terrible, but... Oh, you found it. Aha. How much are they? Out of interest, because I might look at getting some more myself. Come on. Definitely running out, I think. Number 6 was just over £4. Oh, that's not terrible. Not for that quality. Can you send me the link, my lovely? Definitely running out. Ah, come on, I've only got a little bit to do. Damn it. It's an expensive portrait to go on the wall. Come on, last round. We got this. And we did it. I likes it. I likes it a lot. £4.09 plus £1 postage. Nice. Okay. Right, tiny bit. Oh crap. That wasn't a tiny bit, that was a massive piece of water. Just going to do a tiny bit of touch up in here. That's better. Just wanted to get a bit of texture on this bit because it needed to look like it was growing out of it. So I'll go in with some light in a minute. I'll go in with the pink that we... Thank you. Okay, now I can just soften that out. Gives the ground a bit more texture too then. Oh yeah, it's better. I think we're done, don't you? I hope you do have a go. Ah, it does. it not that size circle I did? It must have been. Don't quite know how that happened, but hey ho, it did. I don't know what she's doing. There's nowhere on earth she's gone to bed. That's better. Happy now. There you have it. I am going to be doing I don't know actually yet, but potentially a large colour pencil project, but I'll let you know for the next live feed. As I say, with things like tonight, as you have seen, Gary knows full well that I cannot do a TikTok live without my little munchkin being there, which I don't mind, but this is why it makes it difficult to do any YouTube video filming, which is why there's such a lack of content at the moment, and I am finding it really tough, to be perfectly honest, to try and balance everything. So I don't know when the next video is going to be out. I was going to do a vlog, but I didn't think you'd be too interested. So yeah, sort of exciting stuff, really. Sorry it wasn't the normal in-depth type thing that we do, but I just wanted to do something for the first one to just sit and relax and get back into it again. But hopefully it's inspired you to have a go at least. I think it's come out really, really nice. I'm really happy with that. And it's really shiny. You can see where it's all gapped now. I'm going to definitely have to buy a new one. There's something in there. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Oh, I'm going to have to buy another pen from Amazon. Amazon's going to get really annoyed at me because they keep coming to my house. It's empty. Yeah, it's empty. Never mind. It's done. It's finished. Let's sign it. I haven't signed it yet. Ah! No! 2021! My first boo-boo. Did it the wrong year. Thank you for coming along, guys. I appreciate the time that you spend sitting here watching. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whichever it may be for you guys. And I shall see you in the next video. Take care and stay safe, everyone. Bye!